Yes, that's braid. I finally put braid on, and I have a punching rig that we're going to use for flipping and pitching today. Because today, I want to go out and, with a little bit of time I have, see if I can get some fish on beds. Now, I was out a little while ago with my buddy, and the fish weren't exactly on the beds just yet. We found a couple beds, but mostly it looked like either old beds, a couple old beds, or it looked like the males really hadn't locked down on the beds completely yet. A couple males were really aggressive. I had a couple females with males on beds, but they were more interested in each other than they were the bait. Ran into a big female that looked like she was being courted by a male, and the male was really aggressive, the female wasn't. And when we pulled him off the bed, she really didn't want to hit anything. And when in doubt, swing, right? So the spawn for me has been kind of weird here in Florida. And I think it's just because of the way the weather patterns have been this year, with it being cold, warm, cold, warm, cold, warm. But we finally got a stretch here where everything seems to have kind of evened out. Lake temperatures have reached about 75 degrees. And I'm thinking today might be a good day to come out and explore a little bit more and see if we can't find some more fish on beds. So without saying any more, let's hop into it. Last time I was out, they were on beds, and they were also kind of pushed up in the reeds pretty tight. I think the county had this lake sprayed, which, to be honest, it kind of needed it, but wish they would have done it sooner rather than later, so we'd had a little bit more healthy vegetation now. But that's neither here nor there. Let's see if we can find some fish. So I don't think all the fish are going to be completely pushed up yet. It's only been about a week since we got here last, but a lot of the fish will be close to cover. Still hydrilla in this lake. It's just it's not as thick as it was. So what I'm really looking for is the water to be a little bit shallower than it is right here. A lot of good hydrilla still back in here. I'm looking for 3 to 5 foot or less. You know, I've seen them bedding in less. Good visibility, and that's where I'm going to be pitching and flipping into. There's a lot more grass on this side than the other side where I was in. And man, I kind of wish I would have brought my face shield. A lot of bugs here too. There's a bed right there. Looks like there's 2. Now, tilapia are also spawning, so I'll make sure that I'm not just rolling up on tilapia beds. Like, that is definitely a tilapia bed. I believe that's also a tilapia bed. Looks like mostly tilapia beds here. That doesn't mean I won't pitch into them. Because here's the thing, if there's fry there, bass will eat those tilapia fry up. I don't know if you can see it or not, but bed there, one over here. The tilapia are off the beds and there's fry everywhere. And there's bluegill and stuff, and some bass will move up and eat those fry. Bunch of beds back here. That's not what I'm looking for. Need to find a spot with maybe a little bit of a harder bottom, a little bit better cover. Tilapia beds are like these real big bowl shapes, and they're usually really deep and super clean. Bass a little bit dirty. If it's got shells and stuff in it, it's most likely a bass bed. They kind of like that harder bottom. The one I went over there was bass bed, but it's empty. There we go. There we go. It's a good fish to start the morning. It's a female, I would assume. Big head, nice body. She isn't overly fat, so I'm assuming she's not quite there yet. But beautiful fish, probably 3-4 pounds. Take a picture real quick. Okay, let's get the release on her. There she goes. So the fish are getting ready to stage. She was pushed up into this cover pretty tight, and it's a lot of hydrilla and stuff back there. And what I've been pitching was is the bandito bug. I like it because it's soft. I really don't have to set the hook that hard to get the hook to come through. But she was kind of in this back pocket right here, just waiting. And there's beds and things back here, and I don't think she's post-spawn. I don't. She has a little bit too much of a belly for post-spawn. I think she's still in pre, which tells me these fish are not completely ready to spawn yet. And I think we're gonna get a late spawn on certain lakes. I think we're gonna get, you'll see fish spawning well into March, which usually by March is when the spawn starts to wind down. But it's gonna depend on the lake. So much depends on the angle of the sun, the temperature of the water, air temperature when it finally levels out. So we'll see. Okay, so I don't have a lot of time today. So let's continue working this edge. I want to work this side here because we didn't take a look at this side last time it came out. Let's see if we can find any fish like that big one there on pre-spawn or pushed up getting ready or on spawn. Sandhill crane up here looks like she's on a nest, so we'll give her some space. Now this side over here, when we were exploring it, looked a lot better in terms of what was available to the fish. There's a lot of reeds, high reeds over here especially. It's doesn't have as much development on the side, but then there's also a mixture of different vegetation, including these spearheads or arrowheads, whatever it's called. And the fish really do like to set beds up on those because they're pretty solid. They don't move. They can provide shelter from the wind. And to be honest, it makes it really hard to cast in on those things sometimes and get your bait right where you want it to be. So if you can see it over here, there's some arrowheads mixed in with some grass and stuff. That's what these fish have keyed in on last time. And I know there's a bed over here with a male and a female. Let's go see if it's still there and if they're active on it now. Let's try this cut back here. See if we can run into any fish maybe. There's one right there, just went over one. Down in the hydrilla. Dang it. Alright, so it's bed there. There's one here, one back there. Again, I don't know what they are, I'm not close enough to tell. This wind has really picked up. It's kind of out of the southwest almost. But I'm gonna try these couple docks up here. Had really good luck last time I was up here, pitching and flipping into them and around them. Fish seem to be much closer to the shore than they normally are at this lake. I had some luck off this dock last time I was here, mostly because it's pushed back a bit. It's a big dock, and it's got a section over here that's pretty shaded from the wind and whatnot, so we're gonna pitch and flip it for a second. Oh no, he's tangled up. Came off way back in there. Little guy. Way back in those lily pads. Nice and healthy. See ya. Might have to sit to do this. Alright, we're back on the side where we started. Try to get a little bit of reprieve from this wind. He's shifting direction, but I think we'll be a little bit more sheltered here. Yep, there's a bed right there with, oh my gosh. I can't believe I rolled over that. This is so dumb. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. That was probably an 8+ pound fish. That's the fish I was looking for right there. A couple beds through here. These are not tilapia beds either. Big female on that bed. It's about probably a 2-pound male, and I thought that that's all that was on there. And then as soon as he moved off, because you know it's got this dark color here, she rolled out right behind him. All right, so I'm heading back from the driving range. Totally different time of day right now. This morning wasn't too bad. You know, 2 fish, I'll take it. 3 bites. Considering a buddy of mine was also out fishing, and he caught 1 with 2 bites. So I'll take it, and especially that first fish was pretty nice, and I know there's a big one back there now. I can go back for it later. But this time of the year is always really interesting. You catch your PB at this time of the year. Fishing's either on or it's off, depending on whether the fish are really locked to beds or if they're in the middle of their spawn or where they're at in the spawn. So it's always an interesting time of year. But if you're out there, I highly recommend that if you catch anything, please release it. If you catch anything off a bed, please take your pictures very quickly, release it back over top of its bed. Help ensure that the next generation of fish are going to be healthy, and at least have a good chance of making it to juvenile life expectancy, I guess. But I'm going to go out a little bit later and see if we can't catch some other fish, and we'll see what happens. But until the next one, stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one, guys.